shiny. Look what's on the workbench today. Today on the bench we have this Fender Blues Jr. Blues Jr III, made in Mexico. It's a limited edition one, I believe, with the nice natural finish. High gloss. Customer complained the reverb's intermittent. So I've taken the back panel off and I thought I'd have a quick look around before I even turn it on. Can't see anything particularly out of the ordinary. There's no burn marks. There's no blown fuses. These two cables are shielded cables coming and going to the reverb tank down the bottom here. Like I said, I haven't even turned it on yet, but I have noticed the little RCA cables going to the send and return are very loose. They're very easy to pull out. Now, some other things I've noticed as well is the filter caps here. Looks like they're starting to go. There's a couple of, well, these three filter caps on top anyway. I haven't even looked underneath. There's a bit of capacitor poo starting to leak out of them. This filter cap looks okay. In fact, if I have a good look, I can see that it's actually fine. But for the sake of about $2 or $3 worth of filter cap, it's worth replacing. If you are going to take this board out to get on the bottom to remove those filter caps, you'll have to undo all of the nuts behind these controls. You'll have to undo these screws. There's one down here and there's one up here hidden away to pull this whole panel out. These little capacitors here look like they're bulging slightly. I'm going to zoom in a minute and show you guys what I can see, because you probably can't see it from back there. That screw there is loose. So is that one. Interesting. Okay. I'm also looking at the PCB board down here, because I have noticed every time I've worked on a Fender amplifier with a PCB board, or PCB, that the solder is never perfect. In fact, I've been working on a Hot Rod Deluxe, and at the moment, that thing's nearly finished. It's been put into a new cabinet, and the amp wasn't working because 3 or 4 solder lugs were actually completely non-existent. They weren't corroded, that's just what it looked like when it came out the factory. So anyway, I'll give you guys a big close-up in a second of these filter caps and show you what I'm looking at. These ones down here look suspect, and again, if they're all suspect, just replace the lot. Alrighty, so here we are with this Blues Jr III. I'm going to run you through some of the things I already spoke about. Now, what I've done in the meantime is I have powered the amp on and I've tested the reverb out. I can't make it not work, if you will, my double negative. However, we're just going to run through some of the suspect things that I've looked at. Now, what I've done, I've gone in here and pulled these RCA cables out and gave them a little nip up. Okay. The reverb, I've tapped it a couple of times. It's coming through. I've grabbed the input jack and tapped it a couple of times with the reverb turned up about halfway. So here is our reverb. This one here, it's on about what, 6 or 7, and you know, these amps go to 11. Actually, these amps go to 12. If we look here, we can see a 12. If we can focus, let's see if we can focus. There we go. 12, huge. I'll turn the volume up a little bit. You can have a listen to the reverb. So you can hear that echo effect. Now I'm going to turn the reverb off so you can hear the difference. This is dry, going in dry. So reverb is now working, and it's working consistently since tightening up these little RCAs. Now what I did, I just pulled them out. I'll show you what I did. Let me turn the volume down on this. Actually, let me turn the amp off, because that's probably the best angle there. You can see that it's got 4 segments. So this is one up here and one up here. Well, they're very soft. They're very, very soft, actually. I'd almost even change this RCA cable to something a little bit more robust. Anyway, I've squeezed them back together and the reverb appears to be working fine. Where I'm looking is right at the top here, where the pin comes out and goes to, in this case, what I believe is ground. If we look, let's see if I can get closer and focus in on that. Now, it's starting to bulge a little bit. You can kind of see, I don't want to use a piece of metal. Let's see, where's my little pointer gone? Hang on a second, I'll be right back. Alright, I've got something that's not going to electrocute me. Right up here, we can see this little bit of shmoo coming out. This little bit of capacitor jizz. Okay, I've noticed something very interesting. Now I'm going to apologize first up because I'm going to get my camera really close to the speaker. So the sound is going to likely distort. So warning right now, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to turn your speakers down. Now, what I noticed, I've put everything back together and I thought I'd just play the amp and let it just heat soak. I'm going to let it play for about an hour. Okay, now I'm just trying to focus on V3, which is our phase splitter. Now, people often wonder how tubes go microphonic. Well, it's basically things inside vibrating. This V3 tube, which is right next to the speakers, and it's right next to our EL84 output tubes. What I want you to pay attention to, and I'm going to try to play with one hand, so I'm going to just hammer on. What I've discovered, let me get my finger in here. What I've discovered is, see this little ring down the bottom? That's normally the getter. So there's a little crucible or something filled with a particular component, particular chemical or liquid. And when tubes are made, one of the reasons the tops of the tubes are shiny is because they flash the getter, and this is my understanding. You can read about this, and look, please add comments below and tell me if I'm wrong, because I'd love to learn about this stuff some more. But the getter flashes off any impurities and also creates a little bit of an extra vacuum if there's any air left in during the construction of a tube. But getting back to the actual problem, what I want you to do, and this is as close as I can get without my camera going into, out of focus, I'm going to get you to concentrate on that little getter ring right down the bottom there. So basically, this thing here, let me see if I can get my finger into view. Right there, this little ring, okay? Watch this. See it vibrate? Now, this tube, I've got the reverb tool all the way on. I'm going to turn the reverb off and still do it because this is supposed to be V3, which is the phase splitter. Again, without looking at the circuit diagram, I assume so. Reverb is all the way off. You see that? Now, if I go to the other valve, the other tube, you can actually see both and compare them. You'll see that that does not move. Now if I go to V1, let's see if I can focus in on that, nothing as well. So I'm going to assume this tube, while it's not microphonic right now, it will become microphonic very soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if there's any comments or questions, put them at the bottom or on the side of YouTube, depending on what device you're watching this video in. Tune in next time.